Welcome to the Termination Total, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm Savvy P, and today we're looking at indie horror short film Just Off the Trail, released in 2023. Just Off the Trail was directed by James Mayhew, Matthew Solomon, and Rachel Dashalier, who together formed the 3D Productions, the 3D standing for 3 directors. This is the team's first foray into horror, although co-writers James and Rachel are no strangers to writing dark and depressing movies. 3D Productions formed in late 2023, with their premiere movie being Northwestern, a comedic cowboy flick shot in, well, the Northwest. Before the trio came together, James had some prior directing roles, such as a gay marriage period drama set in the 1900s that starred a very gender-confused version of Yours Truly. Maybe there'll be a remake one day, who knows. This movie, however, follows Mick Anderson and Shelley Rogers, 2 journalists investigating the recent disappearance of Amber Hole. Their boss, Mr. Williams, and their friend Stevie round out the cast of main characters, and let's not forget about this movie's mystery monster. So, how many bodies end up just off the trail? Well, let's count them up and find out. The movie begins just off the trail. Go figure. We see Amber Hole, played here by Blaise Sykes-Marie, unpacking for what I assume is a night of camping? Stargazing? She isn't equipment gazing though, as her flashlight quickly stops working. Luckily, she remembers that she has a camera on her and uses the flash to see. She finds and then unsuccessfully attempts to light a few matches. But don't worry, Amber, at least you aren't alone, since when she flashes her camera, she reveals some gross red claws clinging onto that tree. Spooky! Unfortunately, Amber doesn't realize she's in a horror movie until it's too late, and judging by the scream and sound effects, it's safe to say she ain't making it back home tonight. We then fade to a title cut. I guess not. We actually cut to Stevie Wynn Levine here, played by Sarah Fletcher. She's out and about, presumably looking for a place to camp tonight when she finds a camera. Hey, finders keepers, right? When she gets home, she decides to take it to her friend Mick, here played by James Mayhew, and Shelley, played here by Rachel Dashalier. They work at the press and are currently coming up with the week's edition. Before Mr. Williams leaves, he reminds them of their deadlines, bumping Stevie on the way out. Stevie heads in and asks the two to develop pictures on the camera. Mick initially hesitates before Shelley agrees for them.
Of course we can develop them for you.
Shelley asks Stevie if she takes pictures, only for Stevie to tell them that she actually found the camera, just off the trail of Gerwig Woods. Roll credits. Shelley figures that they can return the lost camera by developing the pictures, and gets Mick to wordlessly agree as Stevie heads out. She thanks the two and tells them of her plans to camp in the same woods she found the camera in. Shelley and Mick bicker some more before he gives in, the two going to the dark room.
Come on.
Wait, did Stevie say she was camping in the same place that cold open girl died in? When we saw those nasty claws? Okay, but don't complain if it costs you an arm, and or a leg. Matthew's prosthetic claws here were done by James, and his excellent red gory makeup was done by makeup artist Rachel Dashalier. And though he didn't score the film, Matthew Solomon did arrange the soundtrack. The whole crew, despite being so small, all really put in the effort. As the pictures develop, Mick comments that a girl in one of the photos looks familiar, but Shelley doesn't really see it and brushes him off. Meanwhile, Stevie is setting up for the night in a very familiar part of the woods. I wonder what could happen. Then we cut back to the dark room, as the journalist duo continues developing the pictures, coupled with snide remarks from Mick.
Some of us have real work to do.
Eventually, Mick gets fed up with their picture developing procrastination and leaves Shelley to go work on the week's issue. While working, he realizes that the missing person he's writing about was the same girl from the developing pictures. He gets all freaked out and goes to tell Shelley, who is stunned as she looks at a developing picture. She presumably sees a picture of the creature that Amber took before her untimely demise. Mick, too, is horrified and quickly puts together that the creature must be responsible for the recent disappearance of Amber Hole in Gerwig Woods. It sets in that Stevie is in grave danger, so Mick and Shelley panic for a second, deciding if they should call the police or go rescue her themselves. Shelley reluctantly agrees to call the police and sends Mick out to do it. However, she soon has second thoughts and leaves a note to Mick, letting him know where she is. Mick then finds out that the phone line is dead and heads to the darkroom to tell Shelley, where he finds the note that she left and leaves to go after her in a hurry.
Idiot!
In the woods, Stevie sets up a camping spot when she hears rustling in the distance that she mistakes for squirrels. No squirrels here though, just a spooky claw-clad man dressed in a very formal black turtleneck. Schnazzy! Shelley finds this out when she has a brief run-in with the creature. She comes out alive to warn Stevie of the creature's presence and regroup with Mick. Speaking of Mick, He isn't as lucky as he trips and I think fends off the monster long enough to ensure that Stevie and Shelly escape. I originally wasn't too sure of Mick's fate, but a later scene almost certainly confirms that he wasn't successful in fending off the creature.
Fair tag. No doubt about it.
Mr. Williams, played here by Matthew Solomon, hears the commotion and accompanies Stevie and Shelly back to his cabin, where he gives us some backstory on the creature that took out Mick. Mr. Williams explains that when he was little, he and a bunch of his friends would play make-believe in the same woods that his cabin now resides by. One day while playing, a strange man appeared and joined their games, until one day, he invited them for a game of hide-and-seek in the dark. One of Mr. Williams' childhood friends, named Angela Young, in the credits, and played by Anna Sarr, laughs, I guess because they were expecting a more exciting game, and immediately pays the price being stabbed by the man and left to die by Mr. Williams and his brother, who flee immediately as the game begins. A young Mr. Williams, played by Brady Watkins, hides in the bushes, while his brother, named in the credits as Timmy Sharp, and played by James's younger sister Madeline, hides in a nearby shack. Scared of the dark, young Timmy keeps his flashlight on, alerting the man to his presence. Young Mr. Williams then watches as his brother is found, murdered, and presumably eaten. My God! Mr. Williams waits through the night, being one of the few survivors of their little game of hide-and-seek. Mr. Williams here mentions other survivors who he doesn't talk to anymore, implying that there are more people than shown here, that it is possible that they may have died, or escaped like he did. But since we don't see them in this flashback, I'll leave them off the count and just chalk this up to his memory being foggy after experiencing such a traumatizing event so long ago. Mr. Williams' explanation only further confirms to Shelly that Mick probably didn't make it, and Stevie comforts her for the loss of her friend. Mr. Williams explains that it is likely that the creature is light sensitive, so it'd be best to never bring lights into the forest, unless it's a red light apparently, but it's never used in any meaningful way, at least not that I can see. The next morning, Officer Allison Silly, played here by Lena Seitz-Mareed, sister of Blaze, who played our opening girl, and Officer Donna Dumm, as seen here. The two officers confirm Mick's death, but rule out the death as a bear attack. Mick's body is presumably on the ground, right there, and the officers simply don't care at all. In fact, they don't care so much that the officers call it a done deal right then and there and exit the movie.
Oh yeah!
Stevie, Shelly, and Mr. Williams lament the fallen journalist. Mr. Williams solemnly accepts that no one will believe them, and that more people may fall victim to the creature of the forest. Shelly then has an epiphany, and they decide to make what happened that week into the next edition of their newspaper, warning everyone of the attacks and deterring them, hopefully, from going into the forest for the foreseeable future. We cut to a random house where a man is getting the morning paper. He looks at the paper, and as we get a shot of it, we can see that the lives lost were probably not in vain. So, how many bodies did the creature of the forest claim just off the trail? Let's find out and get to the number. Oh, shoot. Sorry, the lights went out. Well, at least I have this crummy flashlight. Stupid flashlight. What was that noise? Oh no. Only 4 people die in Just Off the Trail, with a gender breakdown of 2 girls and 2 guys, giving us a total of 4 people. And a lovely gender equal pie chart. Tasty! I, never covered any movies before, so Killigami? With a runtime of 16 minutes, that gives us a kill on average every 4 minutes flat, even if 75% of those kills happen in the last 3 minutes. Hey, that's averages for ya. I'll give the Platinum Machete for coolest kill to Amber Holt's death in the beginning of the movie. The setup is uneasy and foreboding, and is a great introduction to the threat in the movie. Plus, the sound effect made me jump the first time, so there's that. Rusty Chainsaw for lamest kill goes to Angela Young, who was just stabbed once and left to die. Poor girl didn't even get a chase scene. And that was Just Off the Trail. According to the very people who directed the film, it wasn't their finest work, and I can see why they think that. But for me personally, I like how campy and cozy some of the scenes in the beginning feel, and even though the film garnered a mixed reception with a small audience, I still appreciate it for what it was. Until next time, I'm Savvy P, and this has been the Termination Total. Thanks a lot for watching this Termination Total, my parody of Dead Meat's Kill Count series. Since I'm so close to the casting crew, I got to get a lot of this research done a lot quicker than I otherwise would, including some backstage photos of the creature, which I even used for this thumbnail. I'm probably not going to do another one of these unless 3D Productions makes another horror film, which seems unlikely, at least according to Rachel. So yeah, thanks a ton to the cast and crew of the film, and you should definitely go check it out for yourself if you want some indie movie camp with a good side of monster murder mystery. That's all I got for you guys. So see you next time and be good people.